Yes, guys, I hope you're good. Today I'm with Tiro. We're going to talk about the last night game against Newcastle. Also, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share the link to everyone that you know, and I will appreciate it. So, Tiro, big up. How are you? Tiro, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Had to sort out my internet. Seems a bit laggy. Not sure if it's working fine now. Just hold on. I'll confirm for you in a second. Plus, it's kind of dark. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it's fine. We can start. How's it going, brother? You're right.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Would have been
Are you
better if we
happy
had a clean sheet yesterday, but it's 3 points anyway, so I can't complain.
to be shameless? We say this 3 points is 3 points.
3 points is 3 points. You know what I mean? I mean, the last time we were at St. James's Park, we got thrashed 4-1. So this is an improvement, I guess. We did not get thrashed at all, even though I wouldn't necessarily say that it was a comfortable watch, especially in the first half. But, we made it. Misha's goal, wow. Cole's goal, wow. Jackson's flick, wow. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I loved yesterday's game. I won't lie, but I did not watch it freely. I was a bit concerned, a little bit, especially after that crack over goal by Murphy. That was a great goal. I won't lie. That was amazing, as well as Isak's goal. That was a clean poacher's goal. That was amazing. I don't know if we have players that can pull out such goals in our squad, but Isak is so clinical, especially against us. That was the second time he scored against us this season. So he's a great finisher. He's a great finisher. But 3 points is all that matters. I'm happy with the 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Guys on the chat, please let us know that I'm audible. There's no echo, right? And you're right. Since Newcastle are struggling in terms of financial fair play, if you don't get, let's say, Victor Osimhen, other targets, I think we should go for Isak. Why not? Because he's a good striker. And I always say this, I love tall strikers. Yes, some short ones, they are doing well, but personally, if you know me, I love tall strikers. So Isak to Chelsea, I wouldn't mind. But also, he got some injury issues that he need to solve. And then I don't want to add another bad Stamford Bridge again. Please. So let's go into the game. Let's say this. I'm going to talk to for the coach also first. Let's say this. What is your thought about the lineup and the game plan?
Lineup was good, all except for Raheem Sterling. I did not like that he started the game yesterday. He does not deserve to start any games anymore. He's one of the most selfish players we have in our team. He does not deserve to start. We could have gone 3-1 up shortly after Cole Palmer scored his second. We could have scored in that. I mean, that opportunity. He could have just given the ball to Cole Palmer and would have had 2 goals. But apart from that, the game plan was, in the first half, it was bad. I mean, we led in the first about 6 minutes of the game. We were leading, and ever since then, I think from the 10th minute up until the 44th or 45th minute, we were playing on the back foot. We were not. We were trying to counter too much instead of having to create chances of our own. We were quite reactive. We were not proactive in that game, and in the first half, and I didn't like that at all. And so when we conceded that goal to Isak's clinical shot or finish, I thought it was just, it's all going downhill from here. But the second half started, and we were in the front foot. We were just pressing. We were creating chances. We were moving the ball really quickly between spaces. We were playing quite well in the second half. And then Cole Palmer scored, which was an absolute beautiful goal, by the way. I loved it. I mean, he had four Newcastle players right in the middle. All he had to do, take the first touch with his right foot, and then I don't know, maybe it was for him to place the ball properly. And then in between, who was it? Was it Dan Burn, or I'm not sure who it was, but it went in between their legs and straight into the back of the net, which is great. And then shortly after that, we countered. Raheem Sterling had an opportunity. He completely squandered it, and he didn't score. And then Misha came on, and oh goodness, wow, Misha. That goal by Misha was fantastic. I loved it. The skill, the pace. He just came into the game and he changed the complexion of it altogether, which I loved absolutely. And yeah, I mean, you could see. I would have loved if Connor didn't start the game. I mean, he did come back from an illness. He usually gives us way more than what we got yesterday. I mean, the runs and behind, having to go for the ball, pressuring the opponent players. That's what we know him to do. But he wasn't as energetic as we usually know him as. But he did pull his weight though. I'm not gonna lie. He did pull a lot of his weight. Individual performances, I would say Caicedo was great. Also, I don't know why people don't like Caicedo. Really, I don't know. It's I love the way this boy plays.
Because of Rice, you can say this.
Yeah, well, we might say that he's Declan Rice is having a better season by no doubt he's having a better season. But Caicedo's performances have been improving game in, game out. He's been playing so great. He's been playing such. I mean, sure, it's not it's how can I put this? He doesn't play the type of football that is aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't look great what he does, right? It's quite raw and rugged the way that he plays. I mean, it looks like he's going for it looks like he goes far. He's far too aggressive. He can come out a bit annoying when you look at him. He kind of loses his balance quite a lot. He has some misplaced passes here and there, but he's becoming that player that we need from him. He's becoming that, and I for one acknowledge his performances lately. He's been playing great. Enzo didn't. I don't think he had that much of a great game, but he was okay, I guess. But I don't think it was that great. Marlo, wow! Except for the fact that with the first goal that we had conceded, he should have cleared that ball forward, not back. You know what I mean? He made a mistake, and that mistake led to the goal. But apart from that, that was a great performance. Once again, he's very dependable, and he looks like he fits 100%. He's probably one of the best signings that we've made this season, as well as Cole Palmer, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like Nicholas Jackson. I know you don't like Nicholas Jackson. I know you don't like that he's not as clinical as you want him to be. But my boy, nah, bruh. Jackson plays. I love that boy. His contribution is fantastic, and it was great in the last game also. He's always playing for the team, and he manages to stay fit for most of the season, and that's great. That's one feat that we want from him. Cole Palmer, I mean, what can I say? He played great. He played great football. He always does. So I'm not gonna talk too much about him. He's fantastic. He's fantastic in almost every game. Even when he plays bad, he plays great. He's usually, even when he plays bad, he's usually the better player among others on the pitch. Raheem Sterling, no, Raheem is no. He's a no. He cannot play against Leicester in the FA Cup. He cannot play. I don't want him to play at all. I don't think he deserves to play. He does not deserve a spot. Could have won 4-1 if Cole Palmer, if he passed that ball to Cole Palmer after he had scored. I mean, no, that was a clear opportunity that he did not take advantage of. He, even in the first half, he played he had a terrible first half. Cucurella coming back from injury, he made a few mistakes. I mean, the fact that he went lunging in on Murphy in the 90th minute and he didn't even win that ball. He left a lot of space in behind, and as a result, Murphy pulled off one of the that goal was a cracker. And so I wasn't too pleased with him, but he did play okay. He was quite erratic during the game. I don't know, man. I don't think he had a great game, but he played okay. Disasi and Chaloba, they also played okay. Not outstanding performances. They were just all right. And Petrovic, naturally, he's I don't know. I have high praises for the boy. He definitely deserves to be our number one. Robert Sanchez does not deserve to play in our team because of his distribution. It's terrible. His distribution is bad. His decision making when he has to release the ball off his feet is bad. Petrovic is very much dependable these days, and he deserves to be our number one. But overall, the second half we played great. I thought it was a great half of football that we played. Honestly, it was very spirited. It was what I have always been asking for. I mean, Pochettino's game plan probably worked in the second half. First half, it did not work out at all. It was a terrible first half. I did not like it. It was very cringy. We were not playing the way that we should have. It just wasn't working out in the first half. Even though Jackson scored, and I mean with a nice flick, but we could have had a better half. We didn't. But the second half, I was dope. Overall, I think it was an okay game. We shouldn't have conceded 2 goals though. Those 2 goals that we conceded, we should have never conceded them at all.
I agree with you 100%. But I just want to mention something in terms of Petrovic. I love him. He's so fantastic, but I just need more from his distribution. Sometimes he just pass the ball and give away a lot of position. So overall, just need more from him. Learn that in the training pitch, and then into the game, you'll do well. But in terms of shot stopping everything, as a fan, I'm happy. You're right. Sanchez should not play that game. And Petrovic should be a number one. Sanchez can play on Sunday, maybe. But in the second half, if you're leading, because every FA Cup game for us is a final. We need to go to the final no matter what. As I mentioned on X today, that if Chelsea go to the final and we play against a team that already qualified in the Champions League, we're going to the Europa League, and which is a great for us, which is an improvement for us. That next season we'll get a European trophy, European Cup, and then also we can get maybe like for example, Jordan sponsor can come to Chelsea and say, okay, now you're playing Europe, we can sign a deal. But at the moment, without European competition, big sponsors won't come to Chelsea. My only criticism with Pochettino is how can you play Marco Corella 90 minutes knowing that he's back from injury? You should have at least something off, maybe in the 80th minute or something minute. It's up to you. Another thing, we had Noni and David Washington on the bench, and you played almost, I think it was 5 midfielders, if I'm correct, before the game ended. How 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 can we play with 5 midfielders? Why is not Noni playing? But overall, in the second half, he made a tactical twitch. We play 4-4-2, and we carry so many chances. Unfortunately, some of them we didn't score them. But anyway, it's football. You can't score every chance you create. We need to create more chances and we will score more goals. Because missing a chance doesn't mean you're a bad player, but you need to do more. And with Sterling, you know my take on Sterling. I never wanted Sterling at Chelsea, but he's here now. I'm going to support him, but he should do more. On Sunday, don't start him, please. Don't start Sterling. Play better players. With Conor Gallagher, I didn't want him to start that game, even though was match fit because he came back from illness and then he didn't train a lot, same to other players. So overall, I'm happy with the performance. 3 points. Next game is against Leicester City. So Tego, if for example, I'm gonna ask you this: let's if you go to the FA Cup final and then we don't win it, but still uh, go to the Europa League next season, is that an improvement for you?
I already think the fact that we made it to a Carabao Cup final is an improvement in and of itself. I think that's an improvement. Personally, that's my stance. Right, we make it to the FA Cup final. That's an even better position. We still made it to the final. We still went to Wembley twice in one season. In a terrible season, we managed to make it to Wembley. I would think that it is an improvement. I think overall, I mean, we lost 4-1 to Newcastle United in the beginning of the season, in the first half of the season. And then we play at home and we win 3-2. It's not all bad, but it's not all good either. But there are glimpses of improvements here and there. I just wish we were not plagued with injuries, really. I mean, how many different injuries have we had this season? I mean, about 43, I think they said. 43 different injuries. Nah, bro, that's insane. A player comes in, one goes out. That player comes back in, another one goes back into injury, and it's totally different things. I don't understand
They,
it,
they change hospital beds.
bruh.
They switch shift.
It's ridiculous. There's too many injuries. There's too many of them. And I mean, all that we have to do is to stay fit. There are only a few players who manage to stay fit for the whole season, right? Like Disasi hasn't been injured not once. I think he's the only defender in our team that has stayed fit the entire season. He's the only one. That goes to say a lot, right? Petrovic, I think he did get injured in the early part of the season. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. But for him to come into number one was because Robert Sanchez got injured. And he came in, he took that role as his own, and I'd love him to stay in that role as well. Enzo, Caicedo, they have they had injuries this season? I think they had one or two, if I'm not mistaken, but they were very short injuries. They were not too long, which is great. Then you have Nicholas Jackson, who probably stayed fit most of the season. He also left the season because of AFCON. I don't think he got injured this season. I don't remember him getting injured this season. But everybody else has had an injury of two or three. And these are lengthy injuries. Look, we haven't even seen Fofana at all this season. That's insane. We haven't seen, we really haven't seen Ngungu this season. I mean, he came through and he scored a couple of goals here and there, but we haven't seen his best, right? Because of his injuries. It's we have been plagued with so many injuries this season. I think it feels as though we have more injuries this season than we did last season, which is even more insane. But it's the kind of situation that we're in, right? So I do see a few improvements, and if we make it to the final of the FA Cup and we still lose it, I don't want to lose final. There was a saying back in the day that Chelsea doesn't play finals, we win them. It's not that anymore. We keep losing finals. And I mean, how many finals have we lost in Wembley in the last 3 seasons? 4 seasons, is it? I think we've lost We've lost four finals, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. How many finals has it been so far in the
I
last four
think we
seasons?
lost. We lost. I think we lost six or five finals in Wembley. But
Which,
overall, in terms of the Carabao Cup, I know I was pissed this coach because he's the coach. At the extra time, I think he should have pushed the players more in order to win that game. But from 1 minute until 90 minutes, it's on the players. No excuses. We created so many chances, we couldn't score them. That's why I was so pissed with all the players. But overall, if you go to the FA Cup final, man, it's on the players again. Please, the players, it's on you. If you want to win, it's on you. Sometimes the coach can give you information, but as players, you need to execute the plan.
yeah, I mean, if we play the final of the FA Cup to win, and I mean to win, like we did in the Carabao Cup, and from first to 90 minutes, which was obviously the full time of the game. No, without the extra time, we played great. But we got, I don't know if we ran out of energy or if we were playing for penalties or if there's something that we were reserving, but I believe we were playing for penalties, right? Which is a bad plan to go into to try and win a cup. But but credit to the players, man. I mean, it hasn't been an easy season, and they had to dust themselves off after that loss. They really had to, and they had to dig deep and try and resolve and try and win some more games and try and play better football than they did in the final. They genuinely tried. I'm I, I'm going to give them credit for that. Honestly, I'm going to give all the players credit for that. I mean, they are also young, they're inexperienced, but they have experienced the final. At least, at the very least, they have gotten to a final. We may have failed to win that final, but we were there. Do you get me? So it's it would be a successful season for me, to be honest with you. I think it would be a successful season if we get to the if we get to the final of the FA Cup. Even if we don't win it, I'll consider it a successful season, given the fact that we have so many challenges this season. Everything that putting everything into perspective, I'd be happy.
Yeah, big up to JC. I'm good, thanks. How are you? Also, please let me know that you can hear me clearly and there's no echo. And also, JC, what is your thoughts about yesterday's game? Who was your standout player? I think now Tiro have got low shedding, but I have a backup plan, so don't worry about that. So, Tiro, I know you know me, I'm a punch out fan. So, let's say, let's come to you. Let's say we don't finish in a European position and we don't even win the FA Cup or we don't go to the final. Do you think we should give him another chance, or we should at least monitor the situation in terms of the managers that will be available on the market? Let's be honest. I think many teams will be looking for top managers because Barcelona, Xavi is leaving, Klopp is leaving, Tuchel is leaving, maybe uh, who's that one? Alonso might leave by Leverkusen. So, do you think we should sack Mauricio Pochettino if he doesn't achieve those targets? And thank you, JC. I appreciate it.
Look, I'm a firm believer in that if we fire Poch after this season, however successful or unsuccessful, would be a step back anyway. I genuinely feel as though, look, if we want this team to gel as well as we want it to, we need the experience of them playing together as a team for a long time, right? For not a, maybe not a long time, but for a certain period. I don't think one season is enough. We have too many challenges. We have too many issues. We have so much going on for us. We genuinely cannot expect. Um, we expect far too much. We're looking for miracles. And if we do fire Poch after the end of the season, just which other coach would we be willing to accept to come into the team? Because no top class manager will want to come to a team that has a project that's building. No manager in their right mind would want to come to a project like this and hope to change things around, because the pressures will be on that new manager. You know what I mean? There would be an expectation for them to win something, a trophy in its first season, because so much investment has gone into it. If we let Pochettino have I mean, wear out his contract, because I think he signed a 2-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. If we let him wear out his contract with the second season, and we at least compete for top four in the Premier League, then I'll know that we are somewhere, right? Because that's what we're hoping for. I'm not going to expect us to win a Premier League next season, because, like I keep saying, we are not the same club. We really are not the same club. We are far from it. We don't have nearly as many experienced players as we did before, who would just transition from one manager to the next with no problems, because they themselves were already established footballers. They didn't have to find an identity by playing more football. They did not have to. No, I mean, look at the player like Frank Lampard or John Terry or Didier Drogba or anyone that was in the previous team that won the trophies, manager after manager after manager. It's just they knew who they were as footballers. Nobody could ever convince them. Whereas these ones that we have right now, the squad that we have right now, they are not fully established yet. Not as themselves. No, they are not in that space yet. Right? They are not in that position. So we still have a lot of think of it as having a lot of uncut diamonds, right? Most people will not see the value in uncut diamonds until it's cut and it looks pretty, and you know what I mean. It can be sold in a retail store or whatever. Think of it like that. We have diamonds that are in the rough. We genuinely have not gotten the best out of most of our players. Yes, there are those that are overperforming above others, like Cole Palmer, because he's absolute class. He's got how many goals and assists this season, all competitions? It's got to be 20 something, right? 23, I think, in all competitions so far. And that's a fantastic feat for a young player like him, right? But imagine if we had multiple players who were in pretty much the same bracket. Like imagine if I mean, who's this? Nicholas Jackson is already on 12 goals and assists, if I'm not mistaken, for the season, all competitions. We have I think besides him and Cole Palmer, they're the only ones in double figures in all competitions, if I'm not mistaken. We need more of these players to contribute as much as Cole Palmer and Jackson, who's apparently a flop. I don't think the boy's a flop, man. I don't think he's a flop. Not one bit do I think he is a flop. He's having a great season, in my opinion. He misses a lot of chances. Granted, he's not perfect. But 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 that offside goal that he scored yesterday, if it was in the letter, if it was in the former part of the season, he probably would have missed that chance. But now we're in the latter stages of the season, and he literally took his chance and he scored. The only thing was it was offside, but he took his chance. If it was in the beginning of the season, the first half of the season, I promise you, he probably would not have scored that. He would have skied that ball. But his confidence is growing. He's becoming a much better player. He's becoming a more established footballer. and we understand. Even he himself said it in an interview that he wishes he could score more goals, and that he acknowledges that he has missed a lot of his chances, and the only thing that he needs to improve in with his game is scoring enough goals, right? So we need more goals from him. We need more from him, but he already does enough for us. He reminds me of Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud was very clinical though. That's the difference between him and Jackson. Olivier Giroud was very clinical, but he did not come through with 25 goals in a season like Diego Costa would. You know what I mean? So he's not perfect, but his contribution is there. His contribution is there. He does not. He plays very good foot. He holds the ball well. He's a dribbler. He's a pretty good dribbler. He's strong on the ball. You can't take him off the ball easily. It's like I remember when in that Liverpool game against him against Konate. Nobody plays like that against Konate, bruh, but he did. He gave him hell in that game. I won't lie to you. I was very impressed with the way that he played. Sure, he missed a few chances, but I genuinely think that he played great. And it was a left wing for most of that game. And uh, he's just a fantastic footballer. So a lot of these kids will come right. I don't doubt it. They will definitely come right. They just need the time. And if we swap managers now, it will definitely take even longer for them to gel with the new coach than it would to deal with the coach that already exists, with the things that he's trying to implement. I not for one bit do I think that Poch is worthy of winning a league. He's far from it. Not now anyway. He's far from it. But if he can get us a cup competition, if he can get us some trophy, a trophy, this season or the next, then that would be great. But for me, if we fire Poch, who are we bringing in? No established manager will want to come back. I will want to come there. I don't want Tuchel back. I can tell you right now, I don't want him back. I'm okay. I've had it. I'm okay. We've had Tuchel. His decline was very much evident. We saw it. He's not great with young players. He's not the best. Mourinho, I don't want him back. Mourinho is just like Tuchel, maybe even worse. Give Mourinho, he even said it himself. Give me 12, 11 players, 30 or 35, 30 years to between 30 and 35, and I'll win you the Champions League. And for sure, he'll definitely win you the Champions League because he likes playing with experienced players. He's the type of player, he's the type of manager that would instill his philosophy within the experienced players much quicker than he would within kids because he does not have that patience. So the squad that we have is not suitable for a lot of coaches. Should we change our manager and we bring somebody else, we start from scratch. It's like starting on a new clean slate. It's a catch-22. If we do get someone and he has instant success, great. More power to him. But for me, in my opinion, I think he should wait out his 2 years. And then if he still doesn't do anything within that 2 years or the 2 seasons contract, he should go. And then we start again with another coach. But at that point, at least the players or most of our young players will have had about 2 seasons of Premier League experience. And they will have learned or had the experience of playing in a final or finals if we make it to an FA Cup final. But yeah, you are Poch out. I get it. You want Amorim or you want you were first crying for De Zerbi, but I don't think that man is the right coach for us at all. But Amorim looks like he's a great manager. He could be
I'm not
that.
a I'm not a De Zerbi fan. I
But you would
like
rather
him, but
have him over Poch, right? You,
no. I'd rather have Emery than Poch because I know Emery already won trophies at Sporting Lisbon. Also, he promoted a lot of kids in the academy, and also the players that they brought. They also improved. They They even sold them. Some of them are in the Premier League, some of them are in the French league. Now they brought Victor Gogorez from Coventry City, I mean, and he's cooking now. He's on form of his life. That's why I'm saying, like, for example, if you don't get Victor Osimhen, I wonder Sporting Lisbon striker because he's on form at the moment. He's 25, turning 26 soon, so he's on his peak. And I want a striker that is on his peak, not another development striker. For example, we've been linked legs of even Ferguson from Brighton. He's still young, man. I don't want another raw talent. Also, we've been linked with Benjamin Sesko. I know he's a top talent. Some of Chelsea fans rate him, but again, in terms of striker, I don't want another raw talent. I want a ready-made striker. I know we all want Victor Osimhen, but it's gonna be a top competition to get him. Likes of PSG might go for him, and you know PSG will offer him crazy salary. He might go there. So overall, give me Ruben Amorim. But you're right, man. Let's give Poch time until end of the season, and then I'm gonna give you my final say whether should we keep him or get another manager. Right, man. I'm tired of Poch. But anyway, sometimes likes of Sterling or misses or defensive errors are on the players, not Poch. So I don't want to blame Poch too much, but unfortunately, it's the coach. He should get the blame. That's it. We know that. We can't sack all the players. We're going to sack the coach, right?
That was the philosophy of Chelsea all along. You keep the players, you get rid of the coach. And I'm very much exhausted with losing games because of defensive mistakes. Like, how many mistakes do we have to make in a single game? I mean, it's annoying. It's annoying. It really is annoying with all these defensive mistakes that lead to goals. I'm pretty sure we are the one team that have created the most mistakes. Well, not the maybe maybe Sheffield United might be ahead of us on that point where they make a lot of defensive mistakes that lead directly to goals, but we concede a lot. Yesterday's game proved that we need at least 3 goals to win every game. 3 goals? There's no way. We have to try and keep some clean sheets here and there, bro. We can't keep scoring 3 goals in every single game. We gotta try and keep some clean sheets. We have to try. Hold on.
Yeah, I think you're right. We need to keep clean sheet. It's very important. But at the same time, like you said, we've been getting a lot of injuries and we have to change the defensive line, and it's not helping because today Malo goes to play, tomorrow Rhys James, another plays Trevor Chaloba, another game Thiago Silva. Now Levi Colwell is not available, even Ben Chilwell. Sometimes we don't have stability in the back line, and those things will cost us as a team because some other players are getting used to play to each other. For example, Levi was getting used to play with Disasi, and we saw them, they are solid, fighting for each other. Now Levi is not available. Unfortunately, it's part of football, it's injuries. But you're right, we need to keep clean sheets. But if we keep on making those kind of mistakes, I don't think we're going to keep another clean sheet.
Every game, I expect a defensive mistake. Every game. There's not one game that I watch where I say, "Oh, we look so defensively solid today. I don't expect a mistake." There's no way. So much so that in every game I count how many defensive mistakes we make per 10 minutes. If we make in the first 10 minutes without a defensive mistake, great. 20 minutes without a defensive mistake, great. 30 minutes without one, great. I know we're gonna have a really good game if that's what happens. But from the first 10 minutes, we make one mistake. I know we're gonna have a problem. We look leaky all the time in the back. Why? Because we don't have a consistent back four. It's insane. It's annoying actually that we continue to struggle like this. But it's all the injuries that we keep having, bro. I mean, that defensive pair between Colwell and Disasi was working. I mean, we all watched that game against Manchester City. Just the passion that they had for every defensive tackle that they were making, every block that they were making. They did not make any mistakes whatsoever. And that was awesome. I thought we had a great game. But we are also susceptible to conceding goals aerial goals, because our overall average height of the team is very short. Hold on.
I agree with you. But another thing I want to praise Mauricio Pochettino. Our home games now, it's not easy for the opponents because we've been playing better at home, which I like as a fan. Because last season we were awful at home, and it's not helping as a coach. So I think he's helping himself in terms of home games. And remember, we were doing well until the Wolves game. I don't know what happened during that game. Now 12 games at home, only one loss. I'm happy. Keep on pushing that. Even on Sunday, another home game. Win that game. The fans will appreciate it.
Yeah, our home record now, I think it has improved, because last season we had a terrible home record. We had a better away record than we did a home record, and that caused a lot of tension between the club and the fans. I could not believe that we were conceding that many goals at home and we were losing so many games at home. It was unbelievable at that point. But now we have picked up quite a nice winning streak at home. We're playing quite well at home. The fans are behind the team when we're playing at home, things like that. There has been a massive improvement from that perspective. And I mean, the fact that we had lost 10 games in the Premier League so far this season is a problem for me. We've lost 10 games, we've only won 11. That is nothing. That is almost nothing. That is not good at all. We deserve to be 11th, if you ask me, with that kind of record. We deserve to be 11th, because how are we not winning more games? We're not being brave enough to go after these teams. We are not, I mean, we showed what we can do against the big teams. Your Liverpool, your Manchester City, all these clubs that we've played against in the Premier League. We have played relatively well, except for that 4-1 defeat against Liverpool that we had recently in the Premier League. But it's not all bad, right? There are glimmers of hope here and there. And yesterday I heard Ian Wright say something like, we don't the he does not see the light at the end of the tunnel when he watches Chelsea. And you can see glimpses of hope here and there, but we played against the Newcastle team that wasn't particularly at their best yesterday, and they still managed to score 2 goals. Was his point, right? Which goes to show that we aren't nearly as defensively solid as we should be. And when we are on the ball, we lose it quite frequently. We lose it quite a lot. But when we have that spell of possession that we had when Cole Palmer scored the goal, that was the best spell of possession we had in the game, all game, because we were pressing high, we were keeping the ball, we were attacking, creating chances. That was how we should play every game, at every minute. We mustn't just start slow and then build up to the pace in the game. We should not be okay with that at all, which is fine, because which is not okay, and which is why some of the outrage against Pochettino is so justified, because it's like we see a pattern. You know what I mean? We see quite a pattern. We start slow and try and build up within the game instead of just hitting the ground running and creating chances from the word go. That's what we should do. Arsenal, the other, wow, Arsenal have gone what, 9 games without losing in the Premier League. Just straight wins for the last nine fixtures. And the way that they play in the Premier League is that they apply so much pressure to the opponent. It's insane. They almost suffocate them to a point where they can't do anything. Then and create as many chances as possible. They scored 5 goals in the first half against what team was it? I don't even remember what team they were playing against. They scored 5 goals in the first half. I, for one, would love to see us score 5 goals in the first half. Oh wow, that would be a game changer for sure. And not concede whatsoever, because we would have taken so much control of the game, we would have so much possession, creating so many chances and taking them that the opposing team will not have any space to breathe. That's what we need to work towards, and we have the talent. It may be raw, and the guys may not be able to score as many goals as they possibly can, but I genuinely think we are getting there. It's just I don't like the league position where we are at. 11th is far from good enough. It's not great.
I agree with you. 11th. We should do better than that. But if you look our games from start of the season, some games that we lost or drew, it's on players also. Because, for example, the Wolves game that at their home ground, right? Raheem Sterling had a bad game. Even Jackson had a bad game, and then they came in the second half. They won the game. Even the game against Nottingham Forest at home, we gave away a silly goal. They scored that goal, we lost 1-0. So defensive mistakes are hitting us in terms of position on the log. And then from now on, I think we should do better. If you check our next 3 games in the league, 2 of them are winnable, and then we play against Manchester United at home. Since we have a good home record, I think we should go all out in that game and win that game, have 9 points. And if you check the table also, we're not far off in maybe in the top six. We still have a chance to qualify in the Europa League. So I think we need a better game plan, a better play, and our players need to give more effort.
Muted. For sure, the players also need to give a lot more than what they're giving. I mean, if they don't adopt a winning mentality now, when we are so down and out, then we can't expect when more experienced players come in to to basically run the whole show. We have a lot of players. We invested a lot in young players, and I understand the investment that's been going on, right? I mean, a billion is a lot of money to spend. It's a lot of money to spend, and we spend a lot of it on youngsters, and we gave them long contracts. It makes sense that we gave them long contracts because of their huge price tags. There was a huge loophole in the financial fair play that they were not looking into until we exploited it. And I genuinely think we will start cashing in on that type of risk very soon. It may not be this season, but I think it's quite positive. We have the right players. But did you see how Misha played yesterday? I mean, come on. All that he has to do is play like that every single time he's given an opportunity to play. Maybe he's being benched because he doesn't train well enough. Maybe he gets benched because there are other players that train better than him, that prepare better than him. Maybe that's the type of thing that he needs to improve upon. I know as fans would like him to start every single game consistently. We want him to start, right? But but I'm not in the training pitch. I don't see how these guys are training when they're training, right? I don't get to experience any of that. I only get to see the players when they play live. Only then do I say, oh, okay, cool, we're starting Marco Corella today because we don't have a left back. Cool, I understand that. Does it mean that he trained properly? No. In that sense, all of the players that could potentially play that position are injured, all of them. We have Colwell, who sometimes drops into left back. He's injured. We have Ben Chilwell, who sometimes drops who obviously plays the left back. He's also injured. Who's the next best thing? Marco Curella. Cool, I understand that. Then we have players like, oh goodness, Raheem Sterling always gets he annoys me because he's on and off. When he's on, and he plays very good football. He plays fantastically well, and it works for a while, right? But most of the time he doesn't play well. I mean, he's our highest earning player. How can he not stay so consistent? What is wrong with him? It might not be on him only, but I mean, we can't keep starting him. I understand we pay him a shit ton of money, but he doesn't always deserve to start. Players like Noni is quite raw and he's fresh in the way that he plays his game, but I don't think he can consistently produce those better performances than Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is the best when he's not confined to one position. He plays so good if you just let him do whatever he wants. Just let him do whatever he wants. But if you put him on the right and like he plays most recently, and you give him the freedom to literally go wherever it is that he wants, he gives us these best performances. A player like Nani cannot replace Cole Palmer in a team like Chelsea because we are not playing great football, and Cole Palmer is literally pulling rabbits out of hats almost every game. How do you replace a player like that? Then you have Conor Gallagher, who most fans do not like. But do you know how much that boy runs? Do you know how many interceptions he makes? How many tackles he makes? How many I don't know why people don't like Conor Gallagher. I fucking love that boy. Sure, he doesn't score as often as he used to when he was at Crystal Palace. He's not doing a lot of that right now, but he covers the entire pitch. He plays from the back to the front to the middle. He covers every grain of grass in that pitch. He's fantastic. I love him. And now, if we're going to replace him for a player like Nani Madueke to start playing, and then we place Cole Palmer in the attacking midfielder position, and then we get rid of Conor Gallagher, you will see how much we'll struggle because nobody runs as much as Conor does. No one. And we also have to acknowledge that. We have to be cognizant of things like that. So I would play Conor every single game. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely play him every game. I don't care. He gives us that edge. He gives us that kind of aggression that we need in the game. He gives us a lot of it. So I would play him. But hey man, if we win the FA Cup, I'd say that we're successful. I don't even want to sell Conor anymore. Most people think that we need to cash in on him. I don't think we should. I think he's a great footballer. He's proper Chelsea. He plays for the badge. He's the only one that runs the entire pitch. Every grain of grass is his to own, and he deserves way better recognition than he's getting. We just don't want to acknowledge his contribution, and I don't understand why. But it's the nature of the game. We haven't had a great season at all. And I acknowledge that we haven't, but we can do better. We can do so much better.
I agree with you, Tseho. Also, it's a pleasure having you today talking about Chelsea. I know we're not streaming each and every day, which has always wanted, but due to the fact that we have load shedding, sometimes we don't have power for a while, man, it affects everything. But anyway, as long Chelsea's playing and then we are happy, all matters. Guys, if you watch the show later, please subscribe and like the channel. Will be more helpful in order for more people to come in. And also, Tiro has mentioned, I think if we be serious, let's go and watch the Aston Villa game that we won 3-0. 3-1. I'm sorry. I think if if we play like that each and every game, I think we'll win most of our games, right? Because I think these kids got talent, they got the abilities to win, but since that they don't have much experience, they're gonna be on and off. And Chelsea fans won't allow it, right? It's a new project. We are not ready as fans for a new project because Chelsea is all about winning. Roman Abramovich implemented that Chelsea win trophies no matter what. And then if you don't win as a coach, we sack you. So that needs to change. We need to give Poch at least end of the season. Let's see what he can give us. No more noise, no more negative things. Focus on supporting the team because it's not helpful to say negative things while the season is not over. As the reports are saying, they'll review his situation at the end of the season. So now on, fans, support the team no matter we play bad or poor. So Theo, do you have your last thoughts on or that's it? Theo?
I just switch on the light. It's a little bit dark in here, or it's getting dark.
Yeah, I
So
was saying okay, go on.
yeah, I heard your request. Um, my last words would be the team needs the support now more than ever, so that we can close off the season strongly. We are left with 3 months into the season, including this one, 2.5 months, I could say, until the end of the season, and we need all the support. You know, we have been far too negative because most of us were sold into supporting the Chelsea Football Club, um, because we were used to winning. I started watching late 2005, 2006 was when I started watching for real. Not as consistently as I am now, but I started some time ago, right? Which was cool, and I was able to experience the team win as many trophies as possible. I mean, we amassed quite a lot of trophies. At some point, we were the ones that had the most trophies in that period. I think between 2004 and 2020, we had amassed quite a lot of trophies in that period, which is cool, right? But now it's a different ball game. So many things have been changed from ownership to the board of directors. Everything has changed, and it's not the same. The strategy is not the same. This is just they're trying out new things. We have new managers, we have new owners. They have invested a lot of money into the club, and obviously will be looking to cash in on their investments here and there, which is fine because that's the way of the business works, right? You can't just have a business that is not profitable. You gotta do something, right? We gotta win some trophies. We have to sell some players, but just the patience, man. We are going through a lot as a club. I mean, how many players do we have out injured now? Added to the fact that we had Ben Chilwell and Colwell added to that list of injured players. We saw players like Romeo Lavia once or twice. How many times did he play this season? Once, eh? Or was it twice? I'm not sure. And even then, when he played once, it was what, 40 minutes, for 50 minutes, something like that. And then he came off injured and he was gone again. Nkungu played not more than 10 games. He played a very, very few games this season. He scored a couple of goals, sure, that's great. But that goes to show just what we need. We need some bit of stability. We need these players fit. We need more stringent structures within the club. I'm not going to pretend to know how to run a football club because I don't. I don't have as many opinions as other people on how we can properly run the club because even under the Roman Abramovich era, we had a lot of questions and concerns as to how the club was being run at times, especially when we sack a lot of the coaches. I mean, the fact that we sacked Carlo Ancelotti the way that we did was unfair, but we went with it. We sacked coaches like who's this guy that used to be a Spurs coach, not Mourinho, Conte. How he was sacked. We sacked him after winning a trophy. He won 3 trophies in 2 seasons, and we still managed to sack him anyway. That's just the culture and the way of Chelsea before under the Abramovich reign, which was cool, right? So we can't much complain about that. I don't know. It worked. The way that he wanted to run the club, it worked, which was great. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time, man. We just have to really be patient. It's gonna be painful watching the team lose as much as they are, because they're going to lose a lot more of the games that we're playing now, more than ever. But just the patience, man. We need to stay put. We need to stay with the team. We need to support them. They're young boys, man. They're young boys. They can definitely pick themselves up. And I'm pretty sure once they hit their peaks, which is ages 24, between 24 and 27, we're gonna start seeing magic. But that's a while from now. It's not gonna happen next year or the year after. But we have to be okay with that idea that we might struggle for the next couple of seasons again. So in conclusion, we just have to conclude. I think we just have to support the team and support the coach and support the players and just wait it out and see how far we go.
I agree with you. Hiring and firing of coaches made us lose a chance to sign Pep Guardiola, because I remember Roman tried to sign Pep Guardiola and he rejected Chelsea because of the hiring and firing model. Even with Klopp, Chelsea wanted Klopp, but due to the fact that he knew that Chelsea won't give him enough time, he rejected that offer. And last thing, man, the firing of Carlo Ancelotti still hurts me even now. Still hurts me even now. So I think we should not try to make that mistake again. Like I said, give Poch until end of the season. Be positive. Support the team. They need it now because these kids are young. We all can see that they are raw. Some of them are giving us moments there and there, but come next season, they're gonna have more Premier League experience. They're gonna try to do better because they played a season all together, and then the following season they must do better. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you to once again. Thank you, JC. Also, people who came in and still not comment, we still appreciate you. So, up the chance.